I'm Amy, this is The Opinionated Woman, and to round out my Pride content, I decided to do a video that I've never done before, a story time. This is something, that I've never given a try, but I find them very fascinating in the right circumstances, especially when told by queer people. So today I wanted to tell the story about the girl that could have saved me from dating all the men from age 19 to 29 that I dated that were not worth the time. Okay, so this story starts at Doors, which is a nightclub in Joburg. So I grew up in Joburg. Doors was my jam. It was a metal club, it was dingy, you stuck to the floor by the bar. 10 out of 10, would recommend. I used to go there and headbang. I used to come home the next day, my neck would be aching. But I had the best time. So the one night we were there, I was 19 years old, so it was 2009. And I was there with a bunch of friends. And I was particularly sitting outside on the rooftop with a friend, let's call her Mia. If you know, you know. So me and Mia are sitting there, right? And she's getting lit. I think I was probably quite tipsy. I had a very lovely mother who would, because we lived just down the road, my lovely mother would drop us off and pick us up afterwards when we were pissed. Thank you, Mom, for so kind. So me and Mia are sitting there, right? And she's getting really turned. And it is coming up to the anniversary of her and her boyfriend getting together. So she had bought some lingerie, which she'd showed me previously in the night when she was a bit more sober. So somehow we get into conversation with this girl on the roof. And if she didn't say that she was a lesbian, it was pretty obvious. But she was like a proper, like, your dream emo girl kind of vibe, but not in a femme way, in a more mask way. It's like in a more tomboy way. Big oversized black hoodie, black beanie, long dark hair, all of that. So she came up to chat to us. We find out she's a lesbian. We're like, okay, cool. Obviously I find this incredibly intriguing. My friend Mia, turns out she's also queer. Mia's queer. So as we're talking, she's like, you're a lesbian. She's like, do you want to see what I bought for my boyfriend? So she fumbling, I've told her about this story and she does not remember, slurs, like in the most endearing way, brings up the photos and starts showing this girl these pictures of her in lingerie. She's like, do you think I look sexy? It was so funny, and I was like, but a little bit mortified. I said to this girl, let's call her Danny. I said to Danny, I was like, I'm so sorry, she's so drunk. And she's like, no, don't worry, it's fine, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, we were vibing. Like, we got, like, because we were, like, the two more sober people dealing with a drunk person, we sort of, like, you know, had a chat, we had a bit of a bond. And somehow, I don't know how, somehow we ended up exchanging numbers for Mixit. I don't know if you all remember Mixit. It was a chat app, I don't know, but anyway, it was back in my Mixit days. So we started talking on Mixit after this night. So the night ends, you know, say goodbye to her, we go get dropped off by my mom, all well and good, right? So at the time I was going to university in Pretoria, I'd just been broken up with, like, properly had my heart broken for the first time ever. So I'm in Pretoria, I'm feeling pretty lonely, and I go on Mixit and Danny's online. So we start chatting, and she sort of starts, you know, hinting at, like, or asking me if I've ever been interested in women and stuff like this. So now my heart is going pitter patter, pitter patter. I think I could throw up. So I'm really, like, getting nervous, and this girl's talking to me about, you know, like, have you ever been interested in girls and everything like that. And I was like, well, I don't really know much about it. I've never really tried. I've never experimented with somebody or anything like that. And she says to me, she's like, well, you know what I think you need, because she was older than me. She was like, you need an older woman. You need an older woman with some experience to teach you some stuff. And then, you know, you can do some exploring. And let me tell you, this took over my mind for days. Days on end, I was just thinking about the possibility of kissing or even having sex with a woman. It got me like excited from the pit of my stomach. I was like, oh my God, can you imagine? And then I did nothing about it. We literally talked on Mixit a few times. She was like, oh, when you get to Joburg again, maybe you can, we can like meet up and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, totally. And then I chicken shitted out. And this drives me absolutely crazy, right? Because this girl, I saw her on multiple occasions after this. We used to go to the same sort of metal gigs, like live shows and stuff like that they used to have. And I saw her on multiple occasions, and I never reapproached her because I was too shit scared. The social anxiety is not a good thing. But I can't help but think back and be like, if you'd had the guts to make a plan with her, just to even meet up with her, even just, have a freaking smooch. If I had done that, the thing that happened to me when I was 30, like 29, 30, when I'd kissed a woman and been with a woman for the first time, and that could have happened a decade earlier. And when it happened when I was 29, literally, like from the second that I was with a woman, all thoughts of being with a man ever again sort of disappeared out of my brain. I was like, why on earth would I give this feeling up for the stuff that I have been settling for this entire time without realizing that I was settling for it? So if this tiny little incident of me talking to this cute ass emo girl, and I was an emo kid, hey, I had purple hair, I wore black and red all the time, lace, freaking spiderweb, the whole damn shebang. So she was right up my alley. But I didn't do anything about it, and I really think that if we had met up, had a smooch, all semblance of thoughts of men would have probably completely disappeared from my brain, just like it did when I was 29. And I could have, missed all of the relationships and missed the one relationship that caused me the most trauma in my life. I could have completely skipped it and just dated women. I'm not saying that dating women couldn't have given me stress or caused me some kind of, distress or anything like that, but I wouldn't have been looking for male validation anymore, which would have been great. But at the same time, if you think about it, things happen for a reason. I'll say things happen for a reason in some circumstances, but I feel like now, coming out after I had my big emotional, and mental health realization, like epiphanies and like journey, having that before I came out really set me in a good spot to carry on in relationships that were more healthy, with respected boundaries and things, and me knowing my worth. So while I think that it's a real pity that I didn't take up that opportunity and start dating women earlier, I could have still ended up in the same toxic relationships because I didn't know my worth and because I had no kind of self-esteem to know what I deserved, from a relationship. So sometimes every now and again I think back to that day and Danny and think about the things that could have been. But you know what? In the position that I'm in now, I'm glad that I'm out now as a completely mature 31-year-old that knows what she wants. I know my worth, and I feel like I can go into relationships now feeling way more healthy and fulfilled than any of the relationships I could have had when I was in my early 20s. But you never know. Maybe in an alternative timeline, in a brighter timeline, maybe I did take her up on that offer and have my lesbian awakening of my dreams at the ripe age of 19 instead of 30. Oh gosh. Anyway, that's all the story I have today. It's just a little one, but it's just one that has been preying on my mind while I've been making this pride content. So I thought, why not share it with the internet and have a bit of a giggle about myself. If you did enjoy this, please consider giving me a like, maybe a subscribe, and tickling my bell for notifications. If you enjoy my content, you can also support me on Coffee. It's a virtual tip jar. The link is always in the description down below. I hope you've enjoyed my Pride content this month. I've really enjoyed making it, and I definitely want to carry this on for next year's Pride, hopefully. So yeah, I hope you are all doing very well and had a freaking delightful Pride, and I'll check you next time.